We live? Oh,
Alrighty. Welcome to today's HFDL broadcast featuring the Reaping Ravens versus the 5Ds. I'm Henergy on the mic along with.
realize. Hello, how's everyone doing? It's been a while since we've been casting a game for this league, but it's good to be back, along with the new mid-season patch as well. It's going to be a lot of exciting games because, a lot of new items, a lot of fun stuff, and we're about to hopefully see a lot of good action.
Yeah, lots of new items, a few new rosters for some of these teams, and a lot of different god buffs and nerfs that came out of that mid-season patch. Um, what are initial impressions? Any particular character looking overly strong or overly weak from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's been 2 days at this point. It's really hard to tell, honestly. Like, that's what makes it
Yeah,
exciting is that we don't know. When we go in, we're not gonna know what characters are gonna be extremely strong because of the new items. I think we have a little bit of knowledge from just playing in ranked as we are gonna be getting into the game.
yeah, getting into the game. Um, I would expect us to see, based off of item changes alone, probably some more ability-focused junglers. And maybe less of those auto-attack focused junglers, but I guess we'll see.
Guess we will starting out with the AMC ban. I guess that's
Yep,
followed by the
AMC. And the King
sorry.
Arthur, that's sort of a staple pick for Jay versus the world, so no surprises there. Kind of the same with the Kali ban. Just really, she's really good in the meta right now. So
It's been interesting band here. It looks like a lot of priority onto the Soul Energy versus the World. I'm guessing they kind of have a reputation in this league if they're going to get two bands here with the Kukulkan and the King Arthur. Both very aggressive picks in the Soul Lane. A lot of pressure. It's going to make it really hard for the other Soul Laner to get a lead early on. So it's definitely
definitely,
a respect band if I've seen one.
I would concur with that. He plays both of those at a very high level. So oh wow, and I think that's a third ban.
That's three focus bands on one person. Well, he must be feeling proud of himself right now.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what he pulls out at this point. The Rav ban coming through, um, potentially not as strong after some of those item changes, just in terms of the damage mitigation build that we see a lot of the time, but I think he's still a good ban.
Yeah, I mean, he can still go the sigil, and
Right,
I guess he could go Lonos. I don't think it's good anymore on him, especially since you got to get to late game with that. You see, the
right.
first pick is the Apollo. Interesting. I wonder if he takes advantage of the new Griffin Wing item that makes your auto attacks move faster. Be a bit of an interesting first pick. I haven't really seen Apollo that much.
Yeah, I think we've definitely seen more of the Chernabog than we have of the Apollo. So maybe, yeah, maybe just wanting to try something a little new. I don't now having a Hera and Kuzenbo, first two picks for Chaos side. We don't see a ton of Hera, although she did just get buffed. So it'll be interesting to see how well that can get executed here.
I,
Um,
I
yeah.
think they're trying to use that new 60% CDR item. I forgot what it's called, like something Babel. Was it?
Sphinx's Bauble, I
Yeah,
believe, is what
Sphinx's
it's what it's
Babel.
called.
Okay,
Yeah.
what a weird name, anyways. That 60% CDR on a character like Hera that already reduces cooldowns with her passive. I mean,
Right.
that ult's gonna be on a very short cooldown. She's gonna be able to use a lot of Arguses. We do see the Dodgy here to counterpick the Hera. The Pao Lao Hera not having a CC immune ultimate is gonna be very effective against her. Followed up by the Scylla. I like the Scylla pick because I think that Hera, as a god that's not very mobile, if she gets hit by the cripple, she's gonna basically have to use her relics all the
Right.
time. So I really like this mid comp that we got going on here.
Yeah, I like it. It's good setup for the Scylla between the Daji, just slows and then the ult, obviously. And this is a staple pick for Sean. Uh, coming out of the mid lane, so no surprises there either. Now, having said that, picking the Scylla into the Kuzenbo is kind of funny just because of the reflect damage. Everybody's probably got at least one story about some meme kill that they got, reflecting at the right time. So probably we'll have to play a little bit around that.
Yeah,
Uh, but
it was especially good. Like I don't know if you remember. I think it was around like season 7 when you could use thorns even under CC.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you had so many stories of Kuzenbo just insta killing mages just by popping thorns into and good old days. But fortunately, you can't do that anymore, so it's not going to be as effective. We do see the Bastet rounding out for the first phase of picks. Bastet, bit of an interesting pick here in my opinion because again, just oh no, my bad. He does have a CC immune all right.
She
Does
does
he
have a
now?
CC immune ult, so it's not the worst pick. I think Bastet's probably in the middle of the pack in terms of junglers right now. Has the potential to go higher than that with some of these item changes. Um,
Oh, looks like we
and we're
do
gonna take
have a
a
remake.
yep, we're gonna take a brief step away. So I would imagine at least those first 3 picks will be the same for each team. So it looks like we're still needing supports on both sides.
Well, we do have the
And
Kuzenbo on the
or
side of.
that is true. No, that's a good point. I saw the Ares ban and got confused. So at least one of them still needs a support. And then solo laners on each side.
Well, we know that they've already banned out 3 solo laners in the first round of bans, so that definitely is going to limit the solo laner on the side of 5Ds. But yeah, I feel like if he's got this much of a reputation that he's gotten 3 focus bans, I'd imagine he'd have some other gods in his god pool that he can pull out. So yeah, we'll see that. Still waiting here on the game. I'm assuming that someone disconnected. Is that what happened? Yes,
Yeah,
we did
Giants
hear that
DC.
it was a DC, so they will have to load back in. Guess well,
Yeah,
now that we're waiting here, what do you think is like the best item that's come out of the new mid-season patch?
the best item. That one's tough. I think for me, it's probably the new glyph for Jotuns, like the cooldown reduction one.
Interesting.
Um, I think between that and then it's made a lot of characters that I enjoy playing a lot. Not, I guess, easier to play for lack of a better word. So like Tsukiyomi with that item, he's just constantly throwing out the damage. Bastet to a lesser degree. That's been the one I've probably used the most so far. I do also like the new Executioner glyph. Um, the Heavy Executioner, I think it's called. I think that's a really interesting item, and kind of that item hadn't been getting picked up a lot at most levels of play, so it's nice to see that getting picked up again.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, the heavy XC is also a really interesting item for me. I feel like it's kind of weird for me because I don't think a lot of hunters are gonna use it. What I will think
Right?
though is that a lot of assassins are gonna definitely love that item. Because
Yeah,
like most assassins don't really need to go higher than 1.75 attack speed, and that 17.5% penetration on just one auto is just it's insane. Honestly, it's just if you build that item, you pretty much don't need any other percent pen item. Maybe you get 1 or 2 flat pen items, and then the rest of your build you can just go full power. Like it's really insane. Like I've been playing a few games specifically on Nemesis. I think it's really good on her.
yeah, I think the Nemesis is a great example. I think it's also going to do well on a couple of warriors too. I could see Osiris and Bellona both getting some
Oh
great
god, yeah.
usage out of it. Um, I've already
Maybe
tried it on
Irvine.
Osiris. That's pretty obnoxious to have to deal with that.
Osiris
Uh,
jungle or Osiris solo?
Osiris solo. I was
Nah.
I was far ahead, so I figured I'd
Yeah, I
give it a
mean,
shot. Um, but maybe not so much in the jungle. I don't quite know what the new build path is going to look like for Osiris in the jungle.
I mean, you definitely don't want to go the full attack speed build if you're gonna build
No,
heavy Xe.
right.
So we are gonna
Oh,
get
looks like
back
we're
into the
hopping
game.
back in.
Yeah, it seems like they're just gonna go with the same bands
Which,
for the first phase.
yeah, which makes sense. I guess we didn't really talk too much about the AMC ban. That feels like one that's just more because it's annoying more than it actually being like a good pick, if that makes sense.
I mean, it could be a focus pick again.
That's
We
true.
have
Yeah.
seen AMC perform really well in the higher levels because he just has so much AoE damage. And that movement speed from his hives just makes it so hard to chase him if he's playing either mid or ADC. We
Right.
do see they've rounded out their draft to the point where we were before they disconnected. We're seeing the support bands here coming out first with the Geb and the Ares. Geb, I think, is a god that's gonna be really good with the new bubble that gives 60% CDR. I mean, like that item,
Definitely.
it comes at a cost, obviously. You get 15% less damage and less healing, but Geb Shield isn't a heal, so that's gonna be just as effective. And I
Right.
think through my testing, with 60% CDR, Geb's Shield comes out to a 7-second cooldown, which is just insane, honestly.
Yeah.
You have an ability that strong on a 7-second cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, and not just the shield too, like the knockup is going to be on such a short cooldown. So that's constant disruption coming out.
I mean, everybody's
Um
going to be on a much shorter
oh,
cooldown.
speaking of which, Nox, that's another one that's just going to be really obnoxious with that item.
Yeah.
And then Kepri as well. All good support bands mostly across the board. We do see the Athena get picked up. So it might actually end up being a Kuzenbo solo.
Oh god, I love Kuzenbo so I think it's a really fun pick. Did you know that there's a spot where you can triple bounce your one onto the Totem of Q? I
Oh
believe
yes.
it was around in season 8. I don't know if it's still around, but I hope it is because it's a very small spot on the map, but if you know it, it just makes it's so satisfying to hit it.
Yeah. I mean, Kuzenbo's great that way, just in general, triple bouncing buffs and things like that. Um, Now it does look like we're gonna get the Ganesh and the Hercules locked in. Uh, Hercules did, of course, receive not insignificant buffs this last patch. Um, Ganesh, kind of always useful. I think he does pretty okay into both Athena and Kuzenbo. Um, yeah. So looking at this now, is there a draft you're favoring more as we get into game?
Again, in this kind of game where it's just been recently went through a big patch in the mid-season patch, I really don't know because we don't know what build paths. I think that's going to be a very interesting point to look at in this game is the build path that these characters are going to go because there's a lot of things to experiment around with. I've been seeing a lot of the tier 2 arts with the new items where you build the tier 2
Mm-hmm.
specifically for the Babel at the
Right.
start, and you don't necessarily complete it until much later. It's just that for the price, which I believe it is 1,200 gold, it does give or is it 1,300 gold, something like that. It does give quite a good amount of stats, especially for the early game, and it also allows you to have the flexibility of building another starter item late game depending on what you need. So yes, it was definitely going to be very interesting to see the builds this game.
Absolutely. Yeah. Um, yeah. So we've got our draft, we've got our bands. Yeah, I don't know that I could pick a favorite. I think provided that they don't get picked a lot early, I think Chaos could really take this into the late game hard. Um, Especially like a max cooldown Kuzenbo constantly shoving people, getting them out of position, and constantly reflecting damage. That's going to be pretty obnoxious. So yeah, I'd call it a pretty even toss up across the board.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have a little bit of that on the other side as well with the Hercules. I'm hoping he goes that item. Maybe with Boom, maybe with Hammer as well. Gotten a bit of a nerf, but I still think it's an amazing item. That 60% CDR Hercules with Boom does just running around the map, healing and pushing around constantly. God, it's gonna be so annoying. But we'll have to see what happens once we load in.
Yeah. Yeah, and looking at this a bit more, it seems like they're pretty evenly matched in the duo lane. I think Anhur should have the advantage over Apollo for probably the first like 8 levels or so, and then after that it'll be pretty even. Um, so we'll have to see, one, can Anhur survive the early ganks, because he is going to fall off a little bit come late game, and then excuse me. Hmm. Yeah, the Ganesh is a good counter pick to a lot of their draft, though.
I agree. Ganesh is very nice into gods that have a lot of channeled abilities, like
Right.
like the Hera and the Kuzenbo. You can interrupt the push. You can interrupt the Hera's polymorph, her second ability, but also you can trap her inside that cage as she does not have a true escape ability, which means that
Right.
she can be very easily zoned out with that ability. It's a lot of aggression from the frontliners from the order side with that Hercules as well. So it's definitely gonna be a struggle for Hera, especially if she's the one that's gonna get focus in the game. As we finally start to load in and we're about to have the game start.
Yeah. Chad is informing us that tier 2 bauble start is 1400
Oh,
gold.
it's 1400 gold.
So a little bit more expensive, but probably still worth that cost. Um, Especially giving as much MP5 and such as it does.
Kind of reminds me of, I think it was around mid season 8 when a lot of Soul Laners were going the tier 2 fighters mass start. You remember that phase, right?
I remember that vividly, and I didn't like it then. I like it a little bit more now. I think that the changes they've made to that mask tree have all been pretty good ones.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was just annoying back then because the meta was just the jungler ganking Soul Lane at level 2. It was just the most
Constantly,
infuriating thing ever. It's just if you died level 1 as a Soul Lane, I literally just didn't want to play the game anymore. It was so
right?
frustrating.
Now, speaking of which, it does look like Jay has elected to go with that bauble start. So you might get your wish.
I mean, the
On the
stats on that item, considering it's 1400 gold, is
Yeah,
really good.
that seems a little
20
high.
MP5,
That
you're not gonna really run out of mana in the early game with that much MP5, especially with blue buff as well. And you can also buy 2 potions as well. That's a really strong start now that I think
I
about it.
that probably needs a nerf.
I mean, no,
But
tier 2
we'll
fighters mass
see.
was only 40 power. That's 30 power, 10 CDR, and oh wait, is
Oh,
he selling it?
he sold it for warded shield. That's interesting.
I guess
Um, on
I
the
would have
other
kept it
side,
though.
I probably would have kept it too. I don't. Yeah, warded shield. I would imagine that's going to be either a runic or an onsile. And yeah, on the other side, we've got the conduit gem and the warlock staff start, which is pretty common right now for guardians in the solo lane. Uh,
Not really seeing much variance in a lot of these other builds. I was kind of
yeah,
expecting the tier 2 Griffin Wing start in the ADC role as well because I've been seeing a bit of that. The item's got similar stats. It doesn't provide CDR, but it does provide a bit of MP5 power as well as attack speed. And for the price, I think it's a decent stat stick for the early game. I'm not expecting a lot of action in the early game here. I don't think either team really has too much kill potential in the early game, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see if anything happens here.
yeah, yeah. They don't have a ton of damage, so I think it'll require either a pretty hefty rotation or just a misplay for somebody getting really out of position.
See the on
Um,
her quite low here.
yeah, a
Wow.
decent amount of poke in the duo lane on both carries, it looks like. It looks like Order's slightly getting the better end of that.
Attempted skank here on the solo lane doesn't look like it's successful. Paulo dashes in, looking for the kill on Athena.
Yeah. And again, not quite enough damage to really seriously threaten the Athena. I think you'd really need the dodgy rotation to kind of secure that.
Sorry, just bit of difficulty going on right now. Ooh. Do you see the shell being used by Reaping Ravens? As we do see, is that
Oh,
a solo kill?
a
Wow, very low.
incredible. A solo kill onto the Hercules.
Well,
Um,
I guess those three bands were enough. I didn't.
as it turns out, at the very least, gotta feel good about that one. Really, anybody getting a solo kill early on. And I kind of, we'd probably have to watch it back, but I would imagine that he probably got pushed into a minion wave.
Yeah,
Even with the tier 2 warded shield, that's really not that much protection.
I wonder why he chose to go for that because I would think you would rather just start with a tier one and a starter item, don't you think?
I would think so. Herc's clear early on, if especially if you don't have something like Bluestone, is gonna really suffer. I think that's one of the reasons why we really haven't seen a lot of Herc, like the past what feels like a couple of years at this point. Past couple of seasons, certainly.
Yeah, again, it's just he still hasn't gone for starter. I guess he's just gonna go straight for the runic shield. I much prefer the tier two stars. We see a lot of aggression in this duel, and we see the Honor just looking
I,
to constantly fight.
yeah, and I kind of like that. I mean, I feel like trying to get involved early is good for the on her. They probably just need to be a little more judicious in how often they're boxing.
I mean,
Um,
Honor definitely one of the strongest gods early game for boxing. That passive giving you
absolutely.
2010 on any target, which is, by the way, is ridiculous considering at this stage in the game, most characters barely have like. See,
Eh,
thanks for the spectator right now. Yeah, 29 physical pros. Honor essentially does true damage for the first 5 minutes of the game.
right. And then that's not including like the damage buff he gets out of the obelisk for targets caught in it.
Ooh, nice attempt on the pillar
Almost.
impale.
Yeah, just micrometers off target there. Um, but it does look like Apollo's going to end up backing here. Could we get a quick look at the items? I didn't really look at... Uh... Okay, so Apollo is going for that Cowl Transcendence start. Looks like Anher's going the way of Death's Toll and probably an Ichaival. So I would guess that's first item Ichaival anyway. I don't know what else it would be.
Then that's definitely a very early game boxing orientated
Yeah.
build. You're looking to get pressure in comparison to the Paulo, who's going to go for a late game focus. We do see Argus being expelled, followed up by the SL. Unfortunately, does not hit its mark.
Yeah, and it looks like that might have been Hera beads as well. So I would
Yes, it
expect
was.
us to see a Daji alt before too much longer here.
Yeah, they definitely have to tell their team that, hey, Hera has no ult. It's definitely a very good time for the Dodgy to make a play here. Don't really see. Oh, we do see Herc ult being expended for. Seems to be just clear, I guess.
Probably just clear, yeah.
Go back on his way.
Now he has finished the full runic shield at this point. So there's still some kill potential for on the side of Kuzenbo, but probably not as much.
Yeah,
Um,
that early kill potential is definitely alleviated by the item. Runic Shield is really good. At the
yeah,
start of the game, when you don't really have too much power, basically negates that entire conduit gem. At least the raw stats it provides is definitely going to be, number one, a lot harder for the Kuzenbo to do damage to the Herc, and also, number two, makes it a lot harder for him to clear because that reduced power is going to make him hit less hard on minions as well.
that is true. That is true. Now, he's got to be getting fairly close to being able to finish off that Warlock staff. But he is dropping quite low in health in the solo.
Risky invade here,
A
wow.
very risky invade, but there are three of them. We have the On Her and the Daji ult coming out. Okay, lots of beads. The Athena ult. Now Daji's pretty low on mana and is going to successfully get the kill. Bastet will secure the kill. So a 2-0 lead for the Reaping Ravens at slightly less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, just again, very risky invade. It was just. It was a
Yeah.
completely even fight as well as like
Mm-hmm.
I guess they didn't see that Bastet was nearby, but again, it's
Oh, now
I
this
didn't.
is hazardous for the Apollo. Uh, with Ganesh having just backed, I guess he is Apollo, so he is pretty
Ooh.
slippery. We are going to see a missed Bastet ult, so that's probably going to be the end of this fight here. We have a mid rotation into the solo lane, actually. Hera all the way over there, along with the Athena. Um, and the deployment of Argus again. So, and we
The
haven't
gank.
talked. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say attempted gank on the Hercules, but again, that he must have gotten tons of value from that runic shield because three magical gods were just ganking him, and then he just. I guess that runic shield definitely kept him alive. There's just so much value he got out of there. Wait, again, what were
Definitely.
you saying?
Oh, I was gonna say we haven't talked very much about mid builds at this point. Scylla's going for Book of Thoth, Hera's going for that Warlocks. Makes a lot of sense, both of these, honestly. I feel like Scylla can kind of churn through the mana early on, and the tankier Hera is, just the better, the longer she's in those fights, casting polymorph and such. So, we might see Athena get caught out here. But she is going to ult to safety, so that's Dodgy ult, and I really thought we would see Dodgy ulting onto the Hera more than we have up to this point.
Yeah, especially when there was a brief period of time where she didn't have bees as we see a 1v1 take place, and it looks like
Oh,
Dragon Lord Cal will be able to clear that one up. You know, that early game build. I wonder if he had his. Can we check the items to see if he had his Ichabal up?
I'm guessing
Yeah, it
he's
looks like
got it.
he did.
Yeah, that's on her doing on her things.
Yeah, it's just
Pretty much hits every part of the combo there. The knockup impales him out of the dash, which is catastrophic if you're the Apollo. Yeah, so and we have looks like a Bastet gank onto the left lane, resulting in another kill onto the Hercules. So, really good pressure across the board coming out from Reaping Ravens. They're really taking, yeah, they're doing a good job making their rotations consistent. Um, it does look like Hercules is now itemizing into that Gladiator's shield. Um, Pretty standard, I would say, for a lot of warriors in the solo lane right now. Probably core even.
yeah. I mean, Gladiator Shield is with Herc's third ability, which gives him extra protections. I mean, it's just added.
Right.
It's just added value. I think that item is basically a must-have if you're a Herc player. So I definitely don't mind it. I don't. Oh, very close placement on that pillar. Almost blocked off his escape route, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. And Weeb since 1998 will be able to get out.
Now he will be able to get out. On her does have his ult though, so he might be able to go back in. Um, we'll just have to see. Looks like we've got the Ganesh ult coming out as well as the Hera and the Scylla. We are going to see the first kill on the board for the 5Ds. First two, actually. Both of them going on to the Scylla. So, good combination of ults there. The Scylla ult dead on point, finishing off that first kill.
I would hope it would be on
Yeah.
point, considering that she was literally pulled in place by the Daji. Yeah,
You would certainly hope so. Oh, and it looks like we've got a minor invade coming out now in the back line, and Bastet is going to fall as well.
very questionable invade there.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what it gets them, but because Jay is going to lose. I guess he's not going to actually lose too much under tower. I guess I didn't even make it under tower, so. But
Oh no!
yeah,
Oh no!
we're.
That wasn't an invade. That was. Oh, that was a. Oh, my bad. I thought it was on there. I thought the
Oh,
Bastet was going on his side of the jungle. It looks like it was just they just caught him out, grouped up. I guess.
yeah. That was probably a better invade then.
Yeah, definitely. If it was the other team.
Right now. It looks like Apollo is probably going to go more towards that Silver Branch second item. I guess he could go in Ichaival here, but I don't know that that
I think
fits
it's
as
gonna be
well.
Atalantos.
Or that, yeah, that's true. On
Yeah.
her, probably building towards that Aussie. I guess it could be Executioner now as well. But we'll just have to see.
Yeah, it could be the
Um,
Executioner with that, with Jotun's old glyph now
mhm.
going into the Executioner tree, which does, I believe, maxed out scaling. I believe it's 20% extra damage after you hit 10 autos, so definitely gonna be very effective. Let's just see what. Wow, going
Oh,
in without dodgy all. Yeah, you're definitely gonna get punished for that one.
wow, that was
I don't know what Giants was thinking there.
okay. Now, yeah, that probably a little bit off on the timing there. Looks like Scylla is gonna get out. Athena might not, however. That solo lane rotation. And it looks like we have a kill. What is that? A kill onto the Bastet from the Apollo? Was that Apollo ult for it, maybe?
I believe it was. Yeah, I can't believe that that fight went out that way, considering for 5Ds, considering they initiated on Daji without ultimate and somehow won the fight. I don't know how that happened, but I guess that's just how it goes. They will end up securing a Gold Fury here, which gets them 2k gold ahead as well. And if you can look at the XP, if we can just go back to the XP graphs, please, if you just go back to the players. There we go. Looking at the levels here, not really too much. The only thing I really see here that's distinct is the 2 level gap in between the supports. I'm guessing that's because he's been splitting less farm comparatively to the Ganesh on the side of 5Ds. That passive does make it a bit easier for him to farm after all, but yeah, again, pretty even in terms of XP so far. Not really seeing too much. Again,
Yeah.
there is a 2.5k gold lead, which could be exacerbated by this Pyromancer if either team decides to go for it.
Yeah. Sort of an interesting build choice coming out from Scylla here. Looks like a second item Obsidian Shard. I guess just with how tanky the Hera is going to be when that... Or I guess her Warlocks is already stacked. And
And an
then adding
incompleted
in the
tier
2
1.
tanks. Okay. Okay, so some scrimmaging around the red buff here. And that is going to be beads popped and a dead Bastet.
Ooh. Unfortunate misser body on her. Oh, come on, hit your autos. No.
Oh, he doesn't have his ult either. He's just a little
Oh,
bit...
he just dead. Nice Scylla ult there. I'm a
Good
monster
Scylla ult.
during that kill. He's gonna reach for another one, but it's not gonna hit a mark. But I don't think it matters because that's a dead Athena.
I believe in you.
Yeah. Now, twice now we've seen the Hercules rotate mid. Actually, it might even be 3 times. We've seen Hercules rotate mid. We're not really seeing the same level of rotation from the Kuzenbo. And near as I can tell, neither of them are really teleporting to these fights. They're walking over directly, so I'm not quite sure why we haven't seen anything from the Kuzenbo yet.
Yeah, I agree. Even though he's gotten 2 kills in lane, like, I mean, we all know what happens if we play solo lane. You know, you can get a bunch of solo kills, but at the end of the day, the team that groups up is gonna be
Right.
the team that wins at the end of the day. So you just need to kind of just go around the map. You at this point, you're level 14. You should definitely be going around the map a lot more. As you see, Jay's just harassing the on her because they literally can't do anything about it. I think he took 100 damage from an auto there. It's
Just
just
about, yeah.
ooh, nice blink in, but did not
Good
hit.
blink in. Oh, we are seeing kind of what I had hoped to see. We're seeing that pyro push out of this Chaos side team. And we see a kill hopping, or a kill onto the Hera
Jump
coming out of
down.
the...
Oh,
Oh, man.
why did Giants wait so long to jump in there?
Man,
That was an
I'm
on.
not
He
sure.
could have definitely got that kill. Ooh,
Oh, that
very close 1v1 here.
very close. Although Hercules is out of mana, so I would imagine that's going to be kind of the end of
There's
this,
no
unless...
way. There's no way. Okay. Oh. Neither of them want to give up this kill. They are fighting
No.
for this. Does he have blink? Wait, no, I don't think he has blink anymore.
I don't.
Yeah, no, his blink's down. I don't think there's much left.
Yeah,
Where are the rotations? What are
they're just
the teams
letting
doing?
this happen, and at this point, Honor's healed up almost to half at this point. So
Why are they letting this happen? Are they just gonna let him back? What?
man, that's
I,
you hate to see it. You
I have no
hope for a
words for what just
rotation.
happened there.
Yeah, that was something. But I guess teams are just focused on farming or just trying to group for other things.
Well, that was a 1 HP Hercules with no mana.
With no mana. Yeah,
Yeah, you know,
it's tough.
maybe it's a part of the Reaping Ravens 400 IQ plays, but you know, it could just be a mistake, but who knows.
Yeah.
You see what was originally an even lane even matchup, sorry, now with a 2-level difference in the jungle lane. Not jungle lane, jungle role. I wonder, I'm guessing Bastet's been getting picked a lot in these team fights.
Yeah,
I guess it's maybe just poor positioning, maybe not picking her fights correctly. We do see a nice pickup on the dodgy.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of that, and it's a little bit of not actually taking that much time to farm. I think she's just been. Yeah, she's got no mana. I feel like with Bastet, you really do need to be building into that transcendence, and I don't think she has up to this point.
Why is she still fighting? She has literally no mana. And she looks like she's just gonna get punished for it. She just died for no reason there.
Yeah, that's a 3-for-0 swing. Just a great rotation from the 5Ds there. The Ganesh ult really segments the fight. And then just Scylla damage just across the board.
Credits to the 5Ds, but also, what are you doing there with no mana? Just back. You're not doing anything. You're a walking gold. You're a walking piece of gold for the enemy team as a Bastet with no mana. I'm very confused as to what just happened there. I guess that's why she's now 4 levels behind. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, don't have much for that. I would imagine she's probably building into that Brawler's Beat Stick now, which should help a little bit with the Hercules. And to a lesser degree with the Apollo and the Scylla, who both have some lifesteal now. So, yeah, we're at about 20 minutes in. The gold lead is at about 7k altogether. At this point, we probably should start to see people posturing around Fire Giant.
With 5Ds are in a very comfortable position to take FG, especially with that Scylla ult, just to make sure that they can secure the Fire Giant. I mean, I think they should be going for it right now. They have the burn to do it, especially with the Ganesha ult. You can just plop that on. You got the burn from the Dodgy as well as the Apollo. I would imagine they would be positioning around FG right about now, as it seems like that is the plan.
Yeah, and we are seeing a grouping of 4 here, and okay, looks like we got Dodgy Beads and ult coming out. Oh, I don't know about that. That's
early Bastet ult.
Oh, early Bastet ult, and it's kind of unfortunate to bring the Hercules in.
Oh my god.
Great pull. We're probably going to see a dead Bastet here.
Oh, maybe. Gonna be slightly delayed, but
into the
crush.
Into the crush.
Goes. She will not have enough lives to escape that one.
Yeah, huge damage numbers coming out from the Scylla for sure. At this point, on her is rotated over, and they have actually started FG. They're not really committing to it, so kind of taking some unnecessary poke here.
Jay's just tanking FG for some reason. I guess they still want to do it. He's been tanking that for like a solid minute now. Looks like that. Oh, okay, I guess.
Okay, so securing one more kill onto the Athena, and then a lot of poke onto that Hercules, but I have to imagine that the Herc just makes it out. On her gonna fall here, probably.
Come on, Ganesh! Oh,
it'll be the Hercules finishing it off, and picking off the Kuzenbo as well. So that's 7 straight kills for the Hercules.
Yeah, this has been a very messy. That was a very messy FG engage. It was just. Ooh, we do see Hera will have her beads forced out by the Daji.
Lot of low health bars though. If they stick around, Bastet should be able to pick off one of these, I would think.
Yeah, but
we are
she's
gonna
level
see...
13.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Apollo's got 5 levels. I don't think she's gonna do anything.
And Hercules is at 20 at this point, so...
He's absolutely
yeah,
fine.
he's
no
swinging.
Oh, disgusting damage from the Ama monster. Eviscerating that Athena's health bar right there.
Yeah. And we have the Apollo out coming out into the mid lane. Apollo, the split push god. So they just took out the right tower. I have to imagine that the left and the middle are going to follow pretty close after.
Another attempt at a pillar impale, not hit its mark.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, that is just unfortunate. Bastet just used her beads on the air.
Yeah.
And it looks like she's gonna be punished for it right about now. Oh, guess not.
Yeah, I think that pluck was just slightly off. Kuzenbo is gonna fall there to a combination of Daji and Scylla damage. So at this point, you probably are gonna start looking at game 2. We've got a 13k gold lead that's kind of ballooned. What do you do differently?
Not fight as Bastet with no mana.
Okay, well that's very actionable. We do see a kill going down onto the Ganesh actually. So we've got a 2-for-1 exchange right now. Could we get a look at God builds for a second? I'm trying to see.
Very low health on the Bastet, but
oh man,
Shizzy cleans that one up. He's been on point with these solo ultimates. He's been well, as I said, that he misses an ability, but you know, that's just Caster's curse. Gonna be doing a bit of Fountain Diamond here by Jade, but that's okay because it's like
he can take
healing
damage.
him more than anything at this point, honestly.
Yeah. Now we have a Trebuchet. One got launched in mid and then got taken out. We have another one pushing left. That's probably at least a dead left tier 1 tower. And then Apollo split pushing here.
We'll get the bird.
We'll get the bird. True.
You were asking me what they should do next game. What they should do is build any anti-heal against Hercules, because so far they have literally none against the Hercules.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, anti-heal would be a good start here.
Yeah, that's just.
I thought that the Bastet was gonna get a Brawlers, but it looks like she has opted to go into that Crusher. So a couple of things, but they did have a good defense though that last time round. That could have been a game ender, and I think getting those 2 picks kind of slowed that down.
Well, I think defense is putting it slightly nicer than how I would put it. I would put it as the 5D's in team because they know that they can get away with it. But you know, I think at this point, yeah, you kind of just have to look at game 2. It's like, what do you do differently? Number 1, build anti-heal. Number 2, don't fight in the jungle without any mana. Kind of just common sense, in my opinion. But again, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with the drafts. I guess maybe the Athena was very easy to exploit here with how much interrupt that's on the side of 5Ds. I mean, like, she's gonna try to get her dash off, and then she's gonna get Herc pulled, Ganesh silence, Solo rooted, Apollo Mez, just everything. She's just gonna have such a hard time just getting off that dash. And if she ever gets pulled, she's basically dead. I would see Jay literally just beating up a cat for free. Because
now, at this point, yeah, Hercules has finished that Bomba's hammer, so he's gonna have...
He's immortal.
Very close to it. I think
they don't have anti-heal. He's immortal. He's not dying.
Yeah.
He can 1v5 right now and probably win. I'm not exaggerating, as that's literally what he's doing right now. Oh, looks like Looks like the pill. Looks like the impale did about 5% of his health bar, so that's a bit of damage. As he dashes into 4 people and gets away with more health than he came out because Hercules. Is he actually gonna get this kill? He actually just got the kill. Build anti-heal against Hercules. What are you doing? I'm done. This game's over. This game's over. Yeah, it's just build anti-heal. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say.
Can we get a quick look at God builds? Thank you. So, well, some takeaways from this. I think they started off pretty good on the side of Reaping Ravens. I think that some itemization changes would probably benefit them, as we pointed out with the anti-heal. Yeah, probably not picking. I don't remember where they picked the Athena. I want to say they picked it second, but maybe picking, if you're gonna
They
pick
picked
it
it at
later in
the
the
end
death.
of the first
Oh,
phase of bans. Of first
okay.
phase of drafts.
So, yeah, I think maybe if you're gonna run that, run it or pick it later so that you can't get as counterpicked by the enemy draft. Some standouts though, Scylla going Undying in that game.
Going 12-0 as well. Wow,
yeah, 12-0
I
and
did not
11.
notice she was 12-0. I was just looking at the Hercules the whole game. Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah. And Ganesh 01 and 25. So classic support stats that you'd want to see. Yeah. Oh, well, that's interesting. So I'll have to do the math really quick. I want to say, just off the top of my head, it looks like Chaos had slightly better warding overall.
Yeah, it looks
24, 29.
I think that's mostly just because Jay only bought 2 wards. So
well, there is
they were
that.
essentially operating on 4 players having wards. I guess to be fair, when you're too busy beating up every single animal on the side of Reaping Ravens, you got 2 cats and a turtle. I guess you're just hunting down the entire PetSmart. You're kind of too busy placing wards, so I guess we'll give him some credit there.
Yeah.
I can't believe they have no anti-heal against Hercules. That is just downright criminal.
Yeah, actually, could we pan over to the scoreboard just so I can look at God builds one more time? Thank you. Yeah, no anti-heal. Yeah, interesting. No pestilence, no contagion. So yeah, that's definitely something for them to keep in mind going into the next game. What do you want to see, if anything, banned now that we've played a set, or we've played a game, kind of teams have felt each other out? What are you hoping to see there?
I mean, I would say ban the Hercules, but I think from the first phase of bans, we can see that Jay definitely has a lot of other gods in his god pool that he can pull out whenever, so I don't think banning Jay out is an option. I guess you would take away the Scylla then, but then...
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say
I don't think it's a
getting rid
pick
of the
advantage.
Scylla. Well, sure, but generally speaking, if you know that, like, if you know someone's preferred pocket picks, going after those is not a bad strategy. I think that the Scylla ban would make a lot of sense here. I would even maybe consider the Ganesh ban. It felt like it was really impactful across the board.
But again, there's 117 gods or something in this game, so you can't ban them all. So unfortunately, I think this game, as we are going to intermission.
Yeah, we'll go to a quick intermission, and yeah, go to a quick intermission and be back shortly with game 2. Alrighty. Uh, Welcome back to game two of the set between Reaping Ravens and 5Ds. And we're jumping right into bans. So, looks like we're kind of following the same format as last time. Uh, the AMC ban followed by Kali and Rav. But we are going to see the Cleo get through.
Also, respect ban for Shizzy the Gobbler there, Sean. I guess they looked at his 12-0 stat line from last game and decided, yeah, we're not dealing with that. But they
Which,
did
hard to
go
fault
for
that
the
logic.
yeah, they did go for the bans on the J for the first time around with the Kukola and the Arthur. I wonder if he's gonna go for the Cleo. No, he does not. They decide to first pick Apollo again. Again, I wonder why they're prioritizing the Apollo so much.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's just like a comfort pick for Weeb at this point. Because there probably are better hunters on the table than the Apollo. But if it works for him, as it seemed to do last game, then I guess no reason to change.
Yeah.
We do see the E set getting hovered here. Um, I like this pick in general. I would be curious to see where it actually ends up going.
I don't like it this early though because I think Issa is about
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
you pick it to counter other picks, especially if they're going for a lot of dive. You want to pick the E set for not only the dispel magic, which provides that big shield as well as the silence, but also for the ultimate that provides damage mitigation and healing for your team. But again, it's a pick that's very easily exploited because of how vulnerable she is, especially since she's not a traditional support as she is a mage, which means she's going to be very vulnerable towards the start of the game, which she doesn't have the base protections. So I think that picking it, I like to pick it usually, but not this early, as we do see the Kuzenbo is going to be followed up.
Yeah, and I don't mind seeing the Kuzenbo again. I think just seeing him get involved a little bit more early would probably benefit them. Um, yeah, I will reserve judgment on the E set until I see where it's going. Um, it feels like she does better in support right now than she does in mid, but yeah, we'll just have to see.
I mean, she could go for the 60% steer item in mid lane as well. I feel like that would be an
E
interesting thing to do for sure.
yeah, definitely. So the Clio is open. No other bands yet have been going towards solo. Do see the Ares get hovered. That did get banned in the second stage last time. So
Oh, there.
lots of beads burning.
Yeah, I was talking about the ESET being punished, but I didn't expect it to be punished this hard
Yeah,
with
this is
two
pretty.
basically forced Bs. Wow, that is. They really don't
Yeah,
like that ESET, do they?
no, no, they don't. Yeah, that's gonna be rough across the board. Um, and ESET probably is never gonna be like at that band stage, or at least she isn't right now. So they could have probably waited and picked this in the second half, but
Yeah, they could have definitely waited. I personally I don't like picking supports this early on in the draft unless it's something that is very highly prioritized. Like for example, Kepri or Yamoja, as we've been seeing a lot of. It's just I think especially with picks like these, again, I don't want to go too deep, but it's just very easily
right.
punished. You see the Fenrir follow up, which I
I
honestly
don't
I'm not a fan of. I
I like the character. I feel like he's gonna have a rough time into both the Ares with the chains and the Apollo with the Mez. It feels like he's gonna have a difficult time, kind of chasing down some of those
yeah.
kills.
My question is why what usually when we think of Fenrir, he's seen as the god that was first picked every single game by PBN for support, but also a pick that we see in this game presumably is going to be in jungle as we see the Iset and the Kuzenbo already selected. That we usually see it for counter picks, and what is there to counter pick here? We
Yeah,
all three have CC immune ultimates. They get away from Fenrir's brutalized relatively easily. Again, it's just
yeah.
a bit of a questionable pick in my opinion.
Yeah. Now we do see Geb getting banned out again. We also have more mage bans coming through. So Chang'e and Agni also getting banned. Now Chang'e, I know that that's one that Shizzy likes to play, so that's probably a targeted pick. Agni, he's never bad, but he's never like overpowered. He is really one of the most balanced mages. So no
People
surprise.
always say that. I don't know. I feel like he's stronger than most people give him credit for.
Uh,
He does a ton of damage in the late game, especially with the ult. It's just
oh no, he absolutely does. I'm just saying I don't think it's never so much damage that you think it's broken. You know, like
I feel like I would disagree sometimes, but
well then um that's
that's
fine.
just me.
We got final band coming out is going to be that Khepri, and we have a Vamana getting hovered. Vamana kind of now if this gets locked in, they definitely if they don't pick up anti healing, then
If
I
they don't
just
get
don't
anti
know.
heal against a Vamana, I'm leaving the set. But they
I
will
don't
pick
know
the
that,
Odin
but
instead. I think.
now
Well,
the
it is being hovered.
it is being hovered. I do like the Odin pick. That's gonna lock at least 3 people in based on their draft so far. And it's also gonna mitigate all of the advantages that ESET ult gets or gives, excuse me. Baba Yaga getting hovered as well. I think she's in a good spot right now. So if that gets locked in, I think they'll do okay. We do see the Cleo finally getting locked in.
Yeah, fourth pick. I can't believe it took this long. I Again,
Yeah,
Cleo is just. I think we all know what Cleo does in solo lanes. Very annoying. Does tons of damage. Doesn't die. You know
right.
we've all felt the pain of a Cleo running through your whole team. So I don't think we have to go on much longer about that. The Nox, 60% CDR Nox. How does that feel to you?
Well, am a Nox player, among other things. It
Oh
feels
God.
great to me, but for everyone else, maybe less so. So with this Nuwa getting locked in, that is gonna make it. What is that? An ESET jungle?
I
Huh.
what? Okay, so ESET
No,
jungle.
no, no. Now this could also be a role swap thing.
I
So,
but then it's what new? Wait.
well, it'd be
I
Nuwa.
guess
If it's just a support and jungle swap, then I think that lineup actually works okay.
I don't because three of these characters could potentially go into two
Yeah.
different roles,
Right.
but they could also be role swapping. I guess we'll have to see. But E said Jungle Wall. I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, it's been a few seasons at the very least, since that's kind of had its however brief a time it was. Um, yeah, final thoughts before we get into the game. I like the X-Ball pick. I think that should scale a little bit better into the late game than the On Her. Uh, yeah, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I also like the Shiba pick because the Rising Jaguar gives him CC immunity, which is going to be very nice against both the Ares
Yeah.
and the Dodgy. So that's also a nice pick. Also, that ultimate is just still one of the best ultimates in the game, even after the stun's been removed. Especially when it comes to rotations.
Mhm.
Just that 5 seconds. Sorry, I don't remember the exact time. I believe it's
Right.
3 seconds of blindness. But either way, it's very
Yeah, it's
strong in
three.
these late game rotate. Not especially in these late game team fights, but also in rotations. Where again, it just throws your comms in a panic. You have no idea what's going on. I definitely think the Shiba Lanke pick here was a very nice pickup.
Yeah. Um, Now, having said that, I do wish that they would revert that change and bring the stun back, or the conditional stun back to that ult. Um, but
Stand
that's just,
still.
yeah, that's all it takes. You don't even need to use beads for it. So,
And then you find out standing still doesn't usually end well.
Well, yeah, can't win them all. So yeah, lots of beads burning potential. If it wasn't, even if they just had the Ares and the Dodgy, that's a lot. But when you throw in the Nox and the Cleo silences, and it's just a lot
Yeah,
across the board.
I can definitely see why they banned the Geb and the Khepri because they don't want any of that CC being cleansed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, again, I want to see what they're playing here. I have no idea where these picks are going.
Yeah, I am also very curious to see where these are going. Um, lots of potential here.
If I remember, Seal's Team 4 was the solo lane, so I'm guessing the Kuzenbo is going to go back to the solo lane.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Was-
the Nuwa is going to stay in the mid lane. Kuzenbo is going to stay in the solo lane. I think it'll, if it's anything, it'll be that jungle support swap.
Do you think role swap or where?
Role swap, yeah.
So no, you said jungle.
No. That would be the role swap though. If
Oh, so
the,
I thought you would say the player would play support. But do
mean,
you think he's going to be playing jungle?
I mean, aren't those the same thing at this point? So like,
I mean, you're not wrong, but I'm saying like, do you think he's gonna build? Sorry, is he gonna build damage, or is he gonna build damage but also with a bit of CC?
oh, like for the E set?
Yeah.
I mean, no. I would think that if it is going to be an ESET support, then we'll probably see that tanky ESET build that we see in the Pro League from time to time.
Also, not the ranked conquest full damage ESET support.
I hope not.
Well, I guess we're right because that is an ESET jungle.
How about that? Okay.
Oh, alrighty.
Well, let's take a look here. So we've got the Fenrir starting Lono's Mask and then going into what is probably going to be Thebes. ESET with the Bomba Stagger, which is an odd phrase to say.
it's
And
been
then
a while.
it has been a while. A little bit more traditional builds coming out on the other side. Nothing super remarkable there.
Yeah. I kind of wish that going into this game, we'd see a lot more variance in the starting builds with, a lot of stuff that people have been trying out. Well, I guess with the exception of the Lonos Mask, which obviously has been reworked to now be a starter item, which I think in my opinion is a lot better way for the item. It kind of forces you to build into that support item tree when you buy the item, so I definitely like what they've done with it. Yeah, I was expecting a bit more difference in the starting builds. I guess neither team really wants to experiment that much.
Yeah. But that's okay. They've clearly got something in mind for this, so we'll just have to see how well they execute it. The one final comment I'll make before I guess this begins properly, I don't know, like, we talked about Fenrir not doing well into Ares and Daji just because of all the chains and cripples and such. I don't like the Fenrir pick as much now that he's actually against the Ares in the lane. It feels like that's going to be really difficult for him to consistently get his leaps off.
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna be miserable because if he just gets one chain on him, then half his
Then
kit's
it's over.
gone.
Yeah.
He really just it's gonna just come down to whether or not the support on side of 5Ds can land his chains. Be a bit of
Yeah.
a scuffle in mid, but I don't think anything's gonna come from.
Yeah, probably nothing coming from that.
Oh, and here we
speaking of
already
which,
see the
quite a
header
lot of
dropping
poke.
very low.
Yeah, quite a lot of poke coming down. Looks like Fenrir might have missed a minion as well because he's still level 1.
There we go. Yeah, it's very high pressure lane here, especially since see a potential another solo kill in this lane, but very low HP bars.
Yeah. Both of them kind of like to brawl, and I appreciate that. It makes the solo lane experience that much more interesting.
Yeah. Feel like if either jungler came here, it would be a bloodbath right now. But I guess neither one wants this action.
Yeah.
One chain, two chains, three
There's the
chain.
third, and there's the fire. Um, yeah, not too much. Yeah, I haven't seen Iset in the jungle in so long that I've kind of forgotten like what all she's supposed to build.
Okay,
It
so
looks
like,
like she's gone like the tiny trinket start.
so from what I remember, as was wow, there actually was a solo kill in that lane. Looks
Oh
like Jay came
wow.
out on top this time. But yeah, as I was saying about the Issa, I think it was another kill
Oh
on
dang.
onto the Apollo this time from the lane with the Ares. Wonder what
Yeah.
happened there. They it looks like they had all the pressure. I guess they just overextended. I don't know. But again, as I was saying about the Issa, I believe the build was. I remember Sino would do this. You would blink, alt, and
Hmm.
then use the Spirit Ball to stun you, and then build Polynomicon, and then it would just kill you instantly late game. So maybe that's the build that Lana's gonna go for here. Looks like she's gonna start with the. Is that
Yeah,
gonna be a
the
bank cross? I have honestly, I have no idea where this could go. I have not seen this
now
pick in
one
so long.
yeah, now I'm wondering if we do see a Bancroft, it'll probably end up being one of those upgraded versions, with Bancrofts getting two of the new glyphs. So, Bumba's hammer, although I say that, maybe its first item Soul Gem? Uh,
And probably Pythags. Got
Pythags
recently
did get a
reworked.
change, so yeah, that could
It
be.
previously had CDR, got changed to pen, and now back to CDR. So he's
Which,
gonna
yeah,
have
which
the
is probably
CDR.
the right call. It felt awkward with the pen.
Yeah,
Um,
I definitely like it with pen with CDR a lot more.
yeah.
Oh,
Now, it
I
looks
see
like we have a
another solo
second
kill.
kill. Oh, but he had to dive
Oh,
deep for that one. So, mm,
well, Jay just loves to go in for these aggressive kills, doesn't he?
he really does. So much so, in fact, that he's going into the hammer, or I guess he was going into the hammer tree. Now he's sold it.
You
Um,
think like he had a discussion with his team? Was like, guys, do I go full damage? They're like, no, let's play this seriously. And he was like, all right, fine, I'll.
yeah.
But I say that
So
he hasn't gone to tier one, so I guess he's saving up for something. Hmm.
I would assume so. Um,
Oh, it's the 1v2 on the buff. Does actually steal it. Well, that's gotta hurt.
wow. Yeah, unfortunate.
Oh, looks like he's just gonna
Good
waddle
use,
away.
yeah, good use of the oh, what is it called? The deafen? No, not the deafen.
The invis.
Well, it's invis, but it's like situational, and it's
Single
only
target invis.
yeah, single target invis. That'll work.
But it
Looks like we
does
got
stop the brutalize.
okay. Uh, oh, but we do have a Daji rotation, and that's gonna be I think the third death on the Kuzenbo.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like this is one of the problems with ESET jungle is that
there's not really
where's your like
pressure.
gank potential? Is that
Yeah,
what are you gonna do? Wing dust into the wave? Or like just into the
yeah.
lane, and then there goes your damaging ability. You got a silence and a stun, and then what? You're gonna ult, and then they're just gonna walk out of it. It's just
Yeah, it'll definitely take a little bit of adjustment for them to get the
yeah,
most benefit out of this ESET pick. Now, when it comes to objective secure, that's another story. I think they've got really good objective secure with the ESET. Um,
yeah.
Now, having said that, looks like Jay has developed. He's at the proxy farming point of his solo lane journey. Um, and it looks like Kuzenbo. Yeah,
Is
he's gonna
not
let a
gonna
wave into
start.
the tower. Oh, good
Nice interrupt
silence.
onto the
Oh, this is a
wall.
really great, yeah, great turnaround kill there. Just getting too far extended, and I don't think the Cleo has beads either, so not really any opportunity for him to get out.
Yeah, just the overextension. You know, he's been playing like this the whole game, so it's about time he got punished for it. See what?
Oh, speaking of which, it looks like Nova was able to finish a kill, I think beneath the tower onto the Daji.
Yeah, I think Giants tried to go for the ultimate, but he just died to the tower shot before he could get it off. Wonder why he didn't just use the ult instantly.
Yeah, you'd think he would have, but maybe just deciding to save that and try again later on.
Yeah, just should have ult.
Xbalanque, and we got some boxing breaking out here, and the Apollo ult called in response.
I don't think he had to ult that though. I think he could have just walked away.
He probably could have gotten out there, but I guess just wanting to be extra cautious with the E set being there as well.
Yeah, I guess they saw that. I guess they saw that he was gonna be ganked, so then he figured might as well just ult and get away from the gank.
Yeah. It does look like
Lots
we
of
will.
damage.
Man, they really.
Oh no, he's dead, isn't he, when he lands? Yeah, he's dead.
Oh man.
That tower shot, you can stay up there, but that tower shot's coming to you eventually. You know, there was just no way to escape that.
Yeah, he waited out just long enough too that they didn't actually get the kill.
Yeah,
Going to
why
the
did he
tower.
hold the last chain? Was he contemplating his death? But
Well, yeah, or maybe it's like a 5D chess move or something, just wanting to not have the kill go directly onto them. We are gonna see one kill go down now in the mid onto the Nuwa, and the second one onto looks to be the E set.
yeah. Looks like has Iza gotten a single like backhand this whole game yet? I feel like Jay's been living in her jungle the whole game.
Yeah, yeah, you do wonder. It does look like ESET actually has a 1 or maybe a half level advantage over the Daji, but the Cleo has pulled ahead quite substantially.
Yeah, I mean, after getting all that free farm, I'd hope he was getting ahead as we see here. The gold lead isn't as big as I thought it would be. It's only around 2k right now, which certainly is a lot for 9 minutes in the game, but definitely not anything that's impossible to come back from. We do see the Fenrir does get the
Oh,
brutalized,
wow.
but Giants ults in time for once. Looks like he will get out, not if that... I don't think... Yeah, no, it's not going to be enough to
No,
kill
not quite
him.
enough, and I don't know that they have the vision to really chase him down either.
Oh, no.
Oh, but if he...
Wait, why does he back out?
Oh, I don't know about that. I would... So...
Get the ricochet. Get the bounce.
Well...
Looks like he didn't get it.
I don't think he got it. We do have an Apollo rotation. Fenrir is going to fall, probably the E-set as well. Yeah, I don't know about them chasing the kill there. I think when they did that, they let the blue buff go. And yeah, it's tough though. It's tough to know which of those calls is the right one in the moment.
Yeah.
Triple kill coming out for the Apollo. I would imagine that this is a pyro call, with 2 dead for a few more seconds and 2 more, or yeah, 1 more, just coming up now.
Yeah, they really can't contest this at all. I mean, and they don't really have anyone to look for gold for your trade either. At least it looks like they were able to get a tier 1 tower, so that's at least a little bit of gold on the side of Reaping Ravens. Now it is around a 3k lead, so still not that bad, but wow, 3 level deficit in the soul lane. That's gotta hurt. Especially when you're building out warlocks and you only got 16 stacks. That
Yeah,
really hurts.
that is going to hurt a little bit. To be fair, he has had the Daji rotation a number of times at this point, so very difficult for the Kuzenbo to regain parity. E-set, just by nature of it being E-set, not really having quite the same pressure. But we are going to see the E-set ult and the Ares ult come out, and then beads off of the Nox. So, still brawling in the mid lane. Fenrir not doing too badly at this point. I thought that the counters would be, it would be more drastic, and it hasn't been up to this point. The other thing I'm noticing too, they've done a really great job of collecting those chalices. Like, they are consistently getting trebuchets up. And I don't think I've seen any come out for 5Ds as of yet.
think 5Ds is too busy running to the enemy's jungle instead of getting chances, but either way.
Yeah. Now we
think
do have a kill going down onto the Nox. Nova's gonna die to the tick damage there.
Not enough, but the
Yeah. Kuzenbo is
three
gonna
will be
fall
enough.
as well. Middle tower probably gonna fall to the split pushing Apollo. This is not really a split push.
Jay's just running around, tearing apart the whole map as we see a classic ranked experience. Wow, 23 HP after that tower shot.
Dang.
That's got. Well, if you're on the side of reaping Ravens, you hate to see that. Well, that was
Yeah, that's
incredibly
a
close
rough
to
one for
Jay.
sure. So now gold lead is up to about 4.2k. And at this point, you probably just need to. I know that they're not really looking for fights, but they really need to like actively work to avoid them.
Yeah.
They've really got to work on that farm game.
'Cause at this point, I don't think there's any hope in killing Jay. I mean, he's level 15 at this point. He's almost double the level of your support. So it's just.
Right.
I mean, they're gonna try here, but I think he's just fine unless the FG
Oh, man.
helps out. Looks like he will get a kill. Looks like he will fall though with this rotation.
Yeah, that's a lot committed onto the Cleo.
Oh, he's still alive.
Yeah.
I thought for sure he was dead there, but I guess he actually got out because he was that far ahead. Now they're gonna clean house here and just pick up all these kills.
Yeah.
Got the blink ult, he's gonna go for it. No, he's just interrupted by the harpies!
Oh, the harpies.
Oh, no, you hate to see that.
Yeah,
That one is
that's rough.
such unfortunate.
That's happened to all of us at least, at least once a day, if not more.
Yeah, I mean,
Having
like,
a perfect blink, get thwarted.
we forget that minion. I believe it was around early season 8, where minions now target you in the jungle, even if you don't hit them first. But
Right.
strangely enough, this is interesting. It doesn't happen with the green buff. The green buff is the only jungle camp that doesn't aggro onto you. So you can still do that there, but not anywhere else.
But nowhere else. Yeah, that is interesting. It does look like we're getting a Gold Fury call out of the 5Ds. They don't really have vision, but they don't really need it. They secure it almost completely uncontested. Looks like we have Nuwa ult coming out, probably for visibility.
I mean, at that point, only DLC was really in range to attempt the skill that he does, but there wasn't really any potential. Xbalanque is gonna have a hard time securing that gold fury, that's for sure.
Yeah.
See, Jay is just chilling at the tier 2 tower with 4 people in the jungle. This man has just been allowed to do whatever he wants, it seems like, for the whole game.
And it looks like he also has upgraded his Jotuns into the Jotun's Vigor. So he's just going to be getting lifesteal pretty much all the time. If he gets low, then he's got it. He's already got quite a bit with the fully stacked Soul Eater.
Almost gets another kill onto the Kuzenbo. I mean, this time, at the very least, Nova has got the Divine Ruin, so they do have anti-heal this game. I don't think it's enough because I don't think she's going to be hitting the Cleo enough for it to matter. Hang on, does Nuwa ult hit her if she's in a wall?
It shouldn't, I don't think.
I don't know interaction.
I don't think so. Because I think it works the same as, like,
a Chernobog?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It works the same as, like, Chernobog going in.
So like a self-banish, essentially.
More or less. And it looks like we're gonna have another kill falling onto the E-set, and then another dive on the tier 2 tower to secure the Kuzenbo.
I mean, wow. 6 levels in solo lane.
Yeah, well,
that's gotta hurt.
To his credit, Jay has been roaming quite a lot. So just soaking up the farm from the back jungle of Reaping Ravens and kind
Yeah,
of preventing that ESET from having a chance, really.
yeah, he's really just been allowed to just run around and do whatever he wants, which is surprising given that he's only got one defense item in his build right now, currently going for a second one, but it's still really not that much defense. I mean, Glad Shield's got a bit of defense, along with a bit of health, but it's really not the most effective when it comes to pure tankiness. So you're going for that item
It,
if you want a bit of damage. So again, she's
right.
not that tanky, but it's just the fact that she's level 19. So
Yeah.
like she's gonna be tanky just based on her base stats, and also the fact that she can just heal to full health.
Right. Um. Now I would imagine that Xbalanque is gonna fall here. I probably wouldn't have used the relics. There's really no way for him to get out of there.
Yeah,
Now I will say this. For as being as ahead as they are, I do see them maybe potentially having trouble when it comes to the siege under Phoenix, because they really just have the Ares to soak up that damage. Um, so we shall see. ESET ult getting popped here. A lot of poke going down onto the Cleo. Daji ult coming out, gonna burn some beads. Nuwa ult coming out. Lots of low health bars. No deaths yet.
very low health on the Fenrir. Managed
Now
to
that
get
is gonna
out.
get the beads out of the Nox. Yeah, lots of low health bars. Surprisingly, no deaths in that engagement,
Yeah, that's.
which is cool. Good play on both teams for not overcommitting and good positioning. So
I thought for sure Jay was gonna go dive into that tower and just try to look for a kill. But I guess he decided to think better of that and decided to just instead fall back. I guess you're right talking about the problem with sieging because they were trying to get that tier 2 tower
yeah,
ready. They just couldn't do it. I guess that's the advantage of having two mages. You got so much area denial. You also have the Xbalanque with his cleaving
hmm
autos essentially that makes it really hard to that one makes it really easy for him to clear wave from a long distance, but also extra damage. Due to the
Oh,
Cleo using her
interesting.
bead,
I
looking to get
mean,
the
he's got the
kill.
damage, so I guess this was working for him.
He's got enough damage and then some. He's still going for this. This is a 2v. It's a 1v4 going as he gets a. What? And
Man, just so much lifesteal. Um,
she's gotta leave eventually. He's gonna take too much damage, but Apollo's gonna come in and try to get him out.
oh, great pickup from the Fenrir. That is going to force the Apollo beads. Apollo might be a little overextended here, and he is going to fall to the Kuzenbo. Daji ult coming down as well, and just so much damage from this Cleo.
This is gonna be a soft penta at this point if he managed to get the Kuzenbell. Looks like he will. Yeah, that is a soft penta for Jave. Well, I cannot believe that he's been allowed to do this. Oh,
Yeah.
looks like the new all was enough to get that shut down. He must have gotten at least 900 gold off
Oh,
that kill.
easily 900. Yeah, that's going to be like close to max value
I
on
just saw the
that.
replay. He just went up almost 2 whole levels after that kill.
Yeah, that's just
Very
the
nice
power of
shutdown.
the power of the bounty. Now,
Looks like they
uh,
will not get the
I
Phoenix.
thought Giants was gonna fall there actually. Um, okay, so what do we got? We have a trade out then. Looks like the Nox is gonna fall at the cost of both the Nuwa and the ESET. We've got about a 12k gold lead coming out for the 5Ds, but crucially, the Phoenix did not fall there. So maybe just a little bit too concerned with kills. They definitely had the damage to get the Phoenix if they had focused it.
Well, they could have also gotten 2 of the objectives on the map, that being the Oni Fury and the Fire Giant, which would have made that siege considerably easier. But Jay wanting to 1v5 and somehow getting away with it, I guess does not go
Indeed.
punished. Well, I'd say go
Uh,
unpunished for it. He did fall, but after killing 5 people, so saying he went punished for is a bit of
oh,
an
that's
exaggeration.
unfortunate. You can just see the mental wheels turning for Giants there as he realizes he just ulted for nothing.
Yeah.
But better to force the Fenrir ult, I guess, than not. Um, yeah, let's see here. Could we get a quick look at God builds, please? Thank you. Okay, so for the E set, we've got the Pie piece, we've got the Spear of Deso, we've got the Soul Reaver. I am kind of surprised that we also haven't seen anti-healing coming out of the E set as well. Because
But I
that's
think
really their only source of it at this point. On
I think at
our
this point, she already is so far behind that if she goes for the anti-heal, she
Yeah,
already
that's
doesn't do
true.
enough damage.
Yeah.
Again, I think at this point though, I think the game is basically over. I don't think it. I think that they will have to pull an absolute miracle for any chance that that Reaping Ravens will win this game.
We do see a kill go down onto who is that? Onto the Daji. But it is going to get traded out again onto the E set, and Apollo is going to be able to secure that left-hand Phoenix uncontested. So very clean play for the most part, coming out from the duo side here. Um, I I don't see a scenario in which this middle Phoenix lives,
Why are
though.
they? Why they haven't even gone FG? They're just going for this Phoenix straight up. Like
Now, oh man, that's probably a kill onto the Ares. Yeah, they didn't need to stick around there. I
it's like
don't.
5Ds are kind of throwing here. Like I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal because they're not gonna lose anything from it, but they should definitely just get the Fire Giant and just look to end this game. I mean, there's not really any risk of it being stolen, I guess, except for maybe an E-set ult, but you can kind of just kill him before he ever gets near it. It's just, yeah, doing a bit of throwing, but you know, I guess it's okay because they're, wow, what is that? 14k gold ahead? Yeah, they're probably fine.
Yeah, the gold lead is significant at this point. Apollo probably could have soloed the Pyromancer there. I'm kind of surprised he didn't. But he is going to finish off, I think that's the Hunter's Cowl, and we are going to see a kill go mid onto the Nuwa, and a
Reaping
great
Ravens
dodge pole is going to grab two.
pushing up for some reason. I
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Maybe
15k gold behind and pushing up. I wonder what the play was there. I guess their play there was to just die. So now I'm guessing it's gonna be a Phoenix. I don't know. They could troll and try to hunt some kills a bit more. Looks like Jay is gonna try to solo the Phoenix. I don't think he's strong enough for that one.
he's not quite strong enough for that one, but he's got enough sustain in his build and in his kit that it's not really going to matter. This middle Phoenix is going to fall. That's going to be the 5th death on Reaping Ravens, and that will probably be the game.
And
So, very clean play coming out from 5Ds. Only a couple of instances where they probably had an avoidable death. But yeah, clean play. So, congrats to the
yes.
5Ds for the victory.
Yeah, I mean, well played by the 5Ds, obviously, for that victory. But again, I really did not like the draft the Reaping Ravens thought to go for. I mean, picking that E set so early on into the draft, which I thought was going to go to the support, but ended up going to the jungle. It just really didn't do anything. It's just, I
It,
asked
it,
this, at what point in that game did you think, oh man, this E set was so much better than a traditional assassin?
I mean, this game I probably didn't. I feel like for the ESET jungle to work, it has to get off to a really good start, and it didn't have a bad start, but it didn't also make a huge impact because it's a pretty low pressure pick. So, um, in any case, uh, yeah, it was a good set to watch. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the meta kind of shakes up now that teams are kind of either have their roster changes or item changes, god changes, etc. So,
Well, I don't think 5Ds really traded anyone, did they? And Reaping
no,
Ravens
no,
is the new team, right?
Well, it's the team that was made up of the Band of Misfits. So I think two of them are originals, and then the other three are drawn from other teams or
I
free
see.
agents. So, um, yeah,
Oh, looks like we do have someone for an interview. If
okay.
it looks, we're gonna have Sean, aka Shizzy the God Lord, from the 5Ds for an interview. If he wants to come in here, let's just wait to see when he's gonna show up. A very good play in game one. Obviously, 12-0 on the Scylla.
Hmm.
Landed almost all of his ults that I can remember, doing just insane amounts of damage. Game two, not as strong of a performance, but I don't think it was really his fault. More it's just a fault of his teammate, kind of running around the map and just destroying him, destroying everyone. But yeah, looks like we got him here, Sean. Congratulations on your game. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's good. We had a really solid first game. They made sure to target ban our solo lane for sure.
Hmm.
Um, and he pulled out that Hercules and then just went to town. And we had a really good time that game for sure.
And then
Yeah, looks like it.
game two, how did you guys feel when they left the Clio open?
It, we actually, I didn't even notice that they left the Clio. We were more focused on the fact that they just target banned 3 picks in mid, like back to back to back. The Scylla, we are like, okay, that's a solid respect ban. The Scylla did pop off a little bit. But the Chang'e ban is a target ban, and then Agni is a target ban, and then all of a sudden Jay is running through a bunch of solos and then locks Cleo and like, oh, they left that open? That's crazy.
Yeah, it definitely was crazy, given that he went into a 1v5 and went out with 5 kills.
Yeah, he did.
That
He even had someone else rotate in. They died, and he still walked out with 5 kills.
Yeah,
that just shouldn't happen. Also,
yeah.
and I feel like when you're playing Herc and nobody on the enemy team gets anti-heal, that must feel pretty darn good, doesn't it?
They didn't get
Being able to
anti-heal that
run
game.
around with boom dust and just beat
Yeah,
everyone up.
there wasn't any anti-heal in game one.
That's
So
into a hurt. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
absolutely none.
yeah, the Scylla looked great. I always love seeing Nox, so it was nice to see that getting picked up as well. Talk to me a little bit. Both the games we had a lot of support bans coming through. Is that just like bans based off of scouting, or just trying to get off the board some of the more popular picks?
definitely trying to get off the board some of the more popular picks. Geb is just annoying all around.
Sure.
That shield will cancel out some confirmed kills if timed right, and then the CC cleanse. Have you ever cleansed an Ao Kuang ult with a Geb shield?
Yeah.
It's nutty, and it feels good when you do it. So getting him out of there, Kepri is just
Yeah.
annoying as a whole.
Of
So yeah, we want to make sure that we're getting some of the more popular ones out of there, and then just being left with whatever's left.
Sure. No, that makes perfect sense. The only other question that I had regarding your ADC. So we've seeing the Apollo come out both games, and we were kind of talking about, is that a comfort pick, or is it just the utility of having like the global rotation? Um, so I was wondering if you could speak to that at all.
Yeah. The Apollo pick was just it's a solid comfort pick. He did really really well on that. And we made sure that once we got past the early game on her pressure he had to deal with in game 1, he was rotating like mad. I kind of C blocked him on a kill on a Bastet,
Hmm.
and I rooted her as Scylla, and he dropped down right where she was pathing. It would have been a confirmed kill for Apollo, but he was really solid on that both games, and so there
Yeah.
was no reason not to bust it out in game 2 with how he did in game 1.
Nope, makes perfect sense. Yeah, looked solid both games. So, I don't think I have anything more to add. Realize, do you have anything?
I mean, that's all I got, man. You guys obviously played really well that set. You came out on top both games and looked completely unstoppable for the most part. The one thing, maybe ask Jay to buy some wards every once in a while. Maybe that'll
How
help
many
him out.
He has 3 this game. That's more than normal.
Well, more than 0.
Yeah, his cap is normally 2.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah,
No, I definitely appreciate you guys having me here. 5Ds. And then we had a solid show out against what is it? Ravens, Ravaging Ravens,
Reaping Ravens.
Reaping
Yeah.
Ravens. I apologize. Ravaging Rabats, Reaping Ravens. A lot of
Yeah, there's
animals
too
around
many.
here. Too many animals. But no, Reaping Ravens, y'all played a great set. Definitely had a good time, and I appreciate you guys pulling us out. But the 5Ds are 4-0. Jersey.
There you go. Okay. Well, with that, I think we can draw this to a close then. Oh, actually, I see we have Nova here. Nova, do you have any post-game thoughts?
Not really. I mean, obviously, we've kind of seen how like a band of misfits kind of started, and now we're looking at the team now with me as captain. And I'm trying to revitalize and change things around, and I am so incredibly impressed with my team. They are playing so well. It's a little unfortunate that it's yet another set that we have lost, but we're all being like real champs about it. We've improved significantly from the last set to this one, so it was a good game.
Yeah.
Again, I'm proud of them. They did so well, and it was a lot more fun this set than it was before. It was a little hard going into it, trying to think of picks and bans, but we're getting the hang of it. So I'm just shouting out to everybody right now.
Yeah.
Coming for you.
Love. No, I will say it looked a lot better, and I'm glad to hear that it was a lot more fun. That really can make a difference when it comes to like preparing mentally or otherwise for these games. So
Oh, absolutely. When you start to let things get to your mental, and coming into this, I was like, the 5Ds are pretty good, but I wanted to go into it just not even thinking about the fact that like we're in a competitive set right now. Like, let's hone our skills and let's try our hardest and let's try to have fun, because that's the purpose of this, right? So
right.
when you let your mental, go down the drain, it kind of gets it affects everybody, not just yourself. So take a deep breath, move on to the next one. It is what it is at the end of the day,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good healthy way to look at it for sure. But yeah, if I don't think I have anything else to add, so I think we could probably draw this to a close.
Yeah, why don't we find somebody to raid?
Do we have anyone?
We can find somebody super duper quick if chat just wants to hang on 1 second.
Yeah.
Love to go share the love with somebody else, show people what we're all about. Oh, beautiful.
Excellent.
Well, thank you, my lovely production team. Nova is out. I will be following the raid, however.
Alrighty, and thanks everyone for watching today, and have a delightful Wednesday. This has been Henergy.
Just realized. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Husky Fang Draft League. We'll see you guys next time.
Okay. And we're muted now? Okay.
We're good now? Okay, it's on the other stream now.
Oh.
Alright.
Oh, Bill?